The unity in our caucus has been our strength, and it will continue stronger than ever in the 116th Congress. When we stood here 2 years ago, we faced a daunting electoral map, the worst in decades. And we faced difficult questions about how best to serve the people with such an unconventional president in the White House. 2 years later, let's take stock. Thanks to the unity of our caucus, we beat back Republican efforts to repeal health care. 30 million people have health care because of this caucus. With the Senate map wildly tilted in Republicans' favor, we're at worst only one seat worse off than we were when we stood here 2 years ago. And if Bill Nelson wins, which I believe he has a very good chance of doing, we'll be even. When all the votes are counted in Florida, we could be just where we started at the beginning of the 115th Congress, with 48 members, even facing the worst map that we've ever had.
The conversations maybe had with the House, what are his thoughts on it?
Rather than paying lip service to the idea of draining the swamp, which is all Republicans have done, they paid lip service and made it worse, led by President Trump making it worse. We are going to fight hard to clean this swamp. The Trump administration is the most ethically challenged in history, from the president to his cabinet, and congressional Republicans have backed up that swamp all the way. We're going to fight for real reforms to loosen the grip of special interests in Washington and to let everybody vote. Everybody. Not stand in the way of people voting, which is a despicable, despicable thing for people to do. It's against the wellspring of our democracy. Bill Nelson is strong as could be. He believes, I believe, he's won a majority of the votes. And as long as they're counted, he will continue being senator from Florida. President Trump and Governor Scott have just lied. They've said there's fraud when their own Republican officials in Florida have said there's no fraud. They're trying to shut down the election because they're afraid of the consequences if they don't. In other words, a Nelson victory. We want to make sure that the acting Attorney General does not interfere with the Mueller investigation, and we believe our Republican colleagues will join us. You'll see on the floor later today a bipartisan unanimous consent statement, unanimous consent request to prevent the acting Attorney General, Whitaker, from interfering.
Well, hello, everyone. We're confident we're going to have 53 Republican senators to set the agenda next year. To continue, obviously, with our top priority, which is the confirmation of lifetime appointments to the judiciary. And, you know, we have divided government often in this country. We've had divided government more often than not since World War II. So I'll be talking to Speaker Pelosi and House Democrats about what we can do together. There are a lot of things that we do together already that I know we're not terribly newsworthy to most of you, but we think is important for the country, and we'll be looking for ways, now that we have divided government again, to make some progress for the country.
Harassment rules in the House and in the Senate has languished all year. Are you?
There's been no indication, as you can imagine, I talk to the president fairly often, no indication that the Mueller investigation will not be allowed to finish, and it should be allowed to finish. We know how the president feels about the Mueller investigation, but he's never said he wants to shut it down. I've never heard anybody down there say they want to shut it down. I think it's in no danger, and so I don't think any legislation is necessary.
Joni Ernst.
Oh, Joni. Thank you. Thank you very much, John. Thank you, everyone. It is a great honor for me to join this tremendous leadership team as the Republican Conference Vice Chair. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to share our wonderful, overwhelming message of prosperity here in the United States, not only with the members of this body, but also with our fantastic constituents back home.
Mr. Leader, with respect to Florida.